Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are, and welcome back to the latest edition of the My Coach Ben podcast. Thanks for stopping by, and before you say yes, it's been a while. I looked back through the channel and I saw that it's been about a year, and actually thought it was longer than that. So yes, a year away, I apologise for that, but the reason for my absence has been focusing on some other personal projects, also to do with YouTube and podcasting, this kind of thing, but also focusing on coaching and mentoring in my day job. So I'm fortunate enough to work for a company that tries to instill a coaching and mentoring culture, and with luck I am a part of that over the last year or so, particularly the mentoring, which I've really enjoyed, and that's been just helping some of the newer or younger colleagues maybe improve their networking within the business, or if they want to change into a new role as well. So it's been a very, very eventful year for various other reasons as well. So with that cleared up, what are we going to do with the channel going forward? Essentially, it's going to stay pretty much the same as it was, with small podcasts around 10 minutes, let's say. I understand the attention span of the average human is around 9 seconds, so I think it's going to be somewhat longer than that, hopefully, and then we can make some progress together. So what I'm going to do is, I have an idea, without probably showing my age. Years ago there used to be such a book called an A to Z, and the A to Z was a precursor of what we now know as, let's say, Google Maps, or something like that, Waze, whatever it is you want to use. And if you were lost, you would get your A to Z book and you would have a look and you say, yeah, I need to be in there in that street and I'll take this left and right, etc. But with the advent of these digital variants, then of course the A to Z is no more. However, there is still a requirement for such a thing. And what I'm going to do is to take a more holistic view, let's say, of coaching, if you like. And what I mean by that is that over the years that I've been coaching, mentoring, etc., I found that most of the things that are relevant on a personal level are also relevant on a career, professional, corporate, and maybe even national, well, not maybe, but definitely on a national and international level as well. And so to elaborate on that, if we take an example of maybe conflict, let's say this is something that we looked at in one of the previous podcasts. And conflict could be, for example, I'm a keen motorcyclist and I went into a motorbike shop a few months back, and I saw a very nice helmet. And of course, one voice said, "Oh, that's nice, Ben. I think you need to get your credit card out," because it was quite expensive. And then the other voice said, "Oh no, Ben, no, this is not the best use of your funds." And the other one said, no, don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Get your wallet out and get it purchased. So of course I resolved the conflict in actually doing nothing and not purchasing the helmet at all. So this is what I mean in terms of conflict. Maybe strange analogy, but there you go. And this is something, it basically comes from a lack of alignment, a lack of accord from one or two mindsets, or it could be people in the case of a team, or internationally, as we've come to witness, unfortunately, in recent times, a lack of accord among nations as well, sadly. But that's a topic for another day. So if that appeals to you, I'll begin by saying remember to like, subscribe, press the notification bell so you know when the next episode is going to be available. And of course, spread the word, tell your friends, your mates, your colleagues, etc. And by all means, leave a comment as well. Let me know what your thoughts are on the topic. So without further ado, let's get into it with the letter A. And the A is going to be accountability. And accountability, it may well have been something that we've done in the previous episode. Actually, I haven't gone back to look, so forgive me if I am repeating myself. For those that haven't seen it, it'll save you looking through the back catalogue. So, accountability. Let's start, of course, with a definition. If we look in the dictionary, we'll see that it's defined as the fact or condition of being accountable, responsibility, responsibility for your job or tasks, and not dependable on someone else. And this is something which, as I said just now, it's something which is relevant in your personal life, whether you have tasks to do around the house, you're accountable as a partner, as a parent, as of course in the workplace. When you have a particular job or task to do, then you're accountable for that. And also whether this means internally or externally within your workplace. So that's the what. And in terms of how are we accountable? The first thing is, on the work side, if we look at accountability, if we look at what we do in terms of daily tasks, we usually have a stakeholder, which means that there is someone who relies on what we do. And conversely, there is always somebody who we rely on to do what they do. And accountability is essentially just making sure that if something does go wrong, which can happen, let's face it, then you're going to put your hands up and essentially take responsibility therefore, and take some efforts to rectify that. So, in a service relationship, it's about making sure that the service is good enough. And if it's not good enough, then owning up to that and seeing how it can be improved, how it can be faster, smarter, better, whatever it needs to be. And this comes from someone, somewhere, somehow, at some point, taking accountability and saying, look, this needs to be improved. This is essentially trying to establish an environment where it's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes will happen, and when they do happen, or if and when they do happen, then one is accountable and takes responsibility therefore, in order to make sure, of course, that the things don't happen again. For example, this is the second version of this I'm making. The first one, there was a different lamp over there, and then on editing it looked as if there was a fire behind me. But I have to be accountable to say, look, this is not working. Yeah. If I wasn't accountable, then I'd just kind of put it out and say, look, it's not my fault, it's the lamp. But actually it's not the lamp, it's me. So this is about being accountable and responsible for things that happen. And of course, this is a flip side of that. In being accountable, it means that I can make better content. It means that this is much easier on the eye to look at. So there's an advantage, of course, of being accountable. And what that leads to is another method which I briefly touched on, and that's about improvements. So establishing a culture or a mindset of continuous improvement. So making sure that things do improve. They don't have to go wrong, but you can always look at things and say, well, how can this be better? And another way of being accountable, as I've just mentioned, is about improvement and trying to establish or to have a mindset of continuous improvement. Now, I work in a company where there's a process which is called operational excellence. And other companies call this lean management, I think it's called, or there's various names for this. And essentially what it is about having a service mentality. And things don't have to go wrong. It could be a situation where you say, well, we've been running things in such a way for quite a while. Is there a way that we can improve this? Is there a way that we can do it, whether it's faster, slower, more cost effective, whatever the case may be. So these things come around by this continual process of accountability, responsibility, looking at how things can be changed for the better. And it doesn't need to be necessarily from mistakes. It's just about being responsible. And with taking responsibility, of course, we have an awareness of the importance of our role in a particular chain. And a lot of people may view their positions in a certain company or in a certain organisation as being not important, but that in reality is definitely not the case. It's completely the opposite, I would say. So to conclude, what can we say? Accountability. It's essentially taking responsibility for the things that you do, and maybe for the things that you don't do. It's about ensuring that if and when things go wrong, that someone is going to hold their hands up for it and take responsibility, but also to make sure that things don't arise again or that processes are improved on a personal level as well. If things don't go your way, being accountable is to be aware that actually maybe I could have done this task or this thing, this job around the house or what have you, a little bit better. One thing I'm often guilty of is going to the shops and thinking, yeah, I'm going to remember this, and then I just forget everything and just buy all kinds of junk. So this is something I need to take accountability for and make sure that I can improve that. Another example for you in my world. And essentially, being accountable, it means that you become reliable, you're trustworthy, and you're honest. And on a personal level, you can't go wrong with those kind of traits. And on a professional and career basis, then it makes you more marketable. It means that you've got a better brand, if you like. It means that people can put more trust in you. Doesn't mean give you more tasks, but they can put more trust in you and know that you're going to do a good job as a result. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks very much for stopping by. I think that's a fairly decent summary of accountability, if I say so myself. But by all means, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Remember to like, subscribe, press the notification bell and spread the word. Let's continue to grow this. And again, thanks very much for your time. Look after yourselves. If you're in Northwest Europe, it's rather chilly at the moment, but I've been assured that the end is nigh. And that's of the cold weather, no more than that. And look after yourselves and one another. And until the next time, peace. Your Coach Ben. But for those that haven't seen those, then it'll save you looking back through the back cotton. I am a part of that. So very happy to be... but that's a topic for another day. So... if that